Hello friends. Hello friends. Good evening. Today I am discussing the very important concept and previous year's questions of GATE 2021. Okay, recently which was held in February. I will discuss two questions from the DBMS. Okay, the given question is let Ri, Riz and Wiz denote read and write operations respectively on a data item Z by a transaction Ti. Consider the following two schedules. Okay, here two schedules are given. These are the different types of operations doing read and write operations on different data items X, Y. Okay, here this is schedule 2. This is also doing read and write operations on the different data items. Then we have to tell about conflict serializable. Okay, now first we will see what is serializable and what is conflict serializable. Then we will come to the question. First, what is a serial schedule? All statements of the same transaction are executed consecutively without any interleave with statements from a different transaction. Okay, if transaction 1, suppose two transactions S1 and S2 are there, all the transactions from S1 will be completed first. Then only the transactions from S2 will be start. This is the meaning of serial schedule. In between, there is no interleave of other transactions. Okay, other statements, other transactions is not allowed in between the S1. Okay, that is called as serial schedule. What is serializable schedule? They are non-serial schedules. Okay, some schedules are non-serial schedules. That means uh, S1 and S2. Two schedules are there. First S1 is reading the data and S2 writing, and again S1 is reading. Like that, there is a interleave between two transactions. This is called as a non-serial schedule. Okay. Then which allow concurrent executions of different transactions. This is allowing concurrent executions of different transactions, right? They still produce correct results. They will produce correct results only. Then actually they are doing work parallelly. They are doing work parallelly, non-serial schedules. This is possible to change parallel to serial also. How can we change the parallel schedule to serial schedule? We will see now. First, what are the serial schedules will do? They will they will execute the execute this transaction fully. It will execute the transaction fully, then only another transaction will start one at a time. No interleaving of the transaction schedules. Different orders of execution may produce different values. Yes, if S2 is executing first, it will maybe we will get some result, and if S1 is executing first, the result may come in different way. Now we will see how we can convert the parallel non-serial schedule or parallel schedule to serial schedule. If a given non-serial schedule can be converted into serial schedule by swapping its non-conflicting operations. We can convert the non-serial schedule to serial schedule just by converting non-conflicting operations. First, we will see what are conflicting operations now. Two operations are called as conflicting operations. Both the operations belong to different transactions. When we call two operations are conflicting, they should belong to different transactions. This is a transaction T1 and transaction T2. Suppose this is a read X and it should be write X. They should belong to the different transactions. Both operations are on same data item. They should be done on same data item. Here same data item, right? They are doing operations on X only. There belongs to the different transaction, and there should be at least one write operations among these two operations. Then only these are called as conflicting operations. Okay. What are non-conflicting operations? If it is not on the same data item, then they are not conflicting operations. For example, read X, write X is a conflicting pair, and write X, read X. It is also a conflict. Suppose this is transaction T1 and this is transaction T2. Read, write, at least one should be write operation, and they have to belong to different transactions, and they should be performed on same data item. This is also conflicting, right? Same data item, one is write. Write, write also a conflicting pair. This is same data item, different transactions, and both are write, write. These are the conflicting pairs. Except these all others are non-conflicting. Suppose this is transaction T1 and T2. Read X, read X. They are different transactions, same data item, but both are read. These both read are not conflicting pair. And this is read X and another one is write Y. This is also not conflicting pair because they are, one of them is right, but the data item is different here. Here the data item is X, here Y. That's why this is also not a conflicting pair. Okay. How we will convert the non-serial schedule into serial schedule? By convert into, by swapping its non-conflicting pair. Suppose if it is a transaction T1 and T2 is there. So first T1 is reading X and T2 T1 is again writing X. T2 came uh, in between. T2 is reading Y and again T1 is writing X. How can we convert? This is a non-serial schedule, right? Because there is a interleaving of transactions in between. That's why this is a non-serial schedule. Can we convert this non-serial into serial schedule? Yes, right. How can we convert? We have to we have to swap the non-conflicting pair. We have to see, yes, here we can easily observe this is in this transaction it is reading the data Y. Here in this transaction it is writing data X. These two are not conflicting pairs, right? Then if we can swap this right like this is initially reading, that's why we can write X here and read Y here. Just we are swapping, we are moving this up because these two are not conflicting pairs. This is the conversion of non-serial to serial by swapping the non-conflicting pair. But we have one more. If it is a big transaction, very big transaction, it is very difficult for us to see every conflicting pair which is conflicting or which is non-conflicting. We have to check for every transaction. That's why there is a one more method to see whether the given transactions or conflict can be converted into serial schedules or not. Okay, that is how we have to write a precedence graph. We have to make a graph, and if there is a cycle in that graph, then it is, we'll see how with that given question. Yes, in this question there are two schedules, right? First schedule 1 we will see. In schedule 1 also there are two transactions. Actually R1, R1, R2, W2 means in schedule 1 there are two transactions are there. This is schedule 1, T1, T2 transactions are there. We will see how we will check it is conflict series serializable or not. Initially R1X means transaction T1 is reading X. Next R1Y. R1 means this is belongs to the T1. Wherever 1 is there, that is belongs to the transaction 1 and 2 transaction 2. Again read Y of transaction 1. Next one is read X of transaction 2 and read Y of transaction T2. Next one is W read Y, write Y of transaction T2. Next one is write X of transaction T1. These are the, this is the transaction, this is a, actually this is a non-serial, right? Before completion of transaction T1, T2 came, and after completion again T1 came. This is a actually non-serial schedule. We have to convert this into, we have to tell, just the question is asking about is it conflict serializable or not. Okay, for that what we have to do, there are two transactions, right? In this we have to see, first T1 came, T1 is reading X. Is there any conflicting pair for T1, this read X in the T2? Rx means there should be operation on X only, and there should, that should be write operation. No write operation on X. That means there is no conflicting for Rx. And read Y. Is there any conflicting pair in the T2? We have to always see after this. This transaction came now. After this we have to see is there any conflicting operations. Yes, this is, this and this are conflicting, right? They are belongs to different transactions and they are doing operation on same data item. One of them is right. That's why there is a conflicting from T1 to T2. Okay. Next, in transaction T2, it is reading X. Is there any conflicting pair from T1? Yes, right. There is a conflicting read X and write X. Both are on same data and one of them is write operation. That's why T2 to T1 is also, there is a conflict. Now there is no need to check. It is already completed, right? T1 to T2, there is a cycle is there in this graph. Cycle is there in this graph means not conflict serializable. Not conflict serializable. Suppose if there is no cycle, then it is a conflict serializable. If there is a cycle in this graph, if its cycle is there, not conflict. If there is no cycle, then conflict serializable. Because here there is a cycle, that means T1 to T2 there is a conflict and T2 to T1 there is a conflict. That's why this transaction, this schedule we cannot convert into conflict serializable. Okay, S1 is not conflict serializable. Then next we will see the transaction S2. S2 is what? R1x, R2x. We will do here S2 transaction R1x, R2x and R2y, W2y. R2y, W2y, R1y, W1x, R1y and W1x. These are the R1, R2 means there are two transactions in the schedule. We will see now. R1x means transaction 1 is reading X. R2x means transaction 2 is reading X. And again R2y means transaction 2 is reading Y. W2y means transaction 2 is writing Y. R1y means transaction 1 is reading Y. And W1x is transaction 1 is reading X. These are the different transactions from this schedule. Now we have to check is it conflict serializable or not? For that we have to draw a graph from transaction T1 to T2. Okay, transaction first transaction is read X. We have to see is there any conflict from the transaction T2 for read X. Read X, read X, it is not a conflict pair. Read X, read Y, it is not a conflict because it is on data item X and it is on data item Y. Read X, read Y, it is also not because this is also different data item. That's why up to now T1 to T2 there is no conflict. Next T2 came. T2 read X. We have to see for every transaction is there any conflict. Read X is there any conflict from, we should not see up because it is already done. Next we have to see after whichever the transaction are done, we have to see the transactions. For read X, is there any conflict? Yes, read X, write X. T2 to T1, there is a conflict. And read Y, it is not a conflict. Read Y, write Y, read Y. This is a conflict. Already one conflict is came. We already draw this line from T2 to T1. Again, there is no need. Now, there is no cycle in this graph, right? No cycle means we can convert this schedule into conflict serializable. This is a conflict serializable. What is the meaning of conflict serializable? We can convert this non-serial schedule into serial schedule. We will see how can we convert this. For that, to convert, again what we have to do, we have to see precedence graph. In this precedence graph, whichever is not having incoming edges, which is not having incoming edges, T2, we have to take T2. Then after deleting this arrow, next to T1 came. That means we have to execute the T2 first and T1 later. That means how can we swap the operations? We have to execute all the operations of T2 first and then we have to execute all the operations of T1, read X, read Y and WX. This is the conversion of non-serial to serial. This is from the precedence graph, whichever is not having incoming edges, that we have to do first. T2 we have to do first. Then now after deleting this, T1 is also not having any incoming arrows, then T1 will execute. How to convert? All the operations of T2 we have to execute first because we are converting it into serial. Then after T2 we have to execute the transactions from the T1. This is the conflict but serializable. This is in this the first transaction is alright. In this the first schedule there is a cycle. That's why we can directly say if there is a cycle in the graph, we can directly say that we cannot convert this non-serial schedule into serial schedule. That is called as not conflict serializable. Okay. uh, our answer is S1 is not conflict serializable and S2 is conflict serializable. That is the right answer, friends. I hope you understand this concept. Then we will go for the next question. This is also from GATE 2021 February exam. This is about lossy and lossless decomposition. There is a relation given PQS TX YZW and these are the functional dependencies and decomposition schemes are given R and R. This is a one and this is another set of relations. Okay, now we have to check is these relations are lossless or lossy. D1 is lossy or lossless, D2 are lossy or lossless. For that we will see the explanation. Okay, D1 is given R1 PQST, R2 PT, R3 QY. I have given the names. R I will explain here. R1 PQST and R2 PTX, R3 QY, R4 YZW. These are the given relations. What is lossy and lossless decomposition? If we are combining any two relations, there should be R1 intersection R2 not is equal to pi. That means there should be at least one common attribute should be there between these two relations, and that common attribute should be the key of any of the two relations. Okay, now we will see is there any common attribute from R1 and R2? Is there any common attribute from R1 and R2? There is P, T and PT. These two are common, right? From here we can say that PT can determine X, right? R2 PTX is a relation and PT is the key. P2 is the key here and PT can determine X, right? R1 intersection R2 is PT and PT is the key of R2. That means from the PT we can determine these two relations. That's why this is a lossless decomposition, right? The this is we can combine R1 and R2 relations. That is R12. I am giving a new name PQSTX. This is the new relation. We are combining these two relations based on PT. PT is a key for R2 relation. And what is the relation R3QY? And R4 is YZW. Okay, is there any common attribute between these two friends? Yes, Q. Q is common and Q is the key of Y. From Q we can determine Y. That's why we can combine R123 PQSTXY relation. And the next one is YZW. Is there any common attribute between these two? Yes, Y is the common. R1 intersection R123 intersection R4 is Y. And Y is a key for ZW. That means we can combine these two relations PQST XY ZW. We are getting the virginal relation, right? PQST XY ZW. Then if we, after combining all the relations we are getting the virginal relation. That's why this is a lossless decomposition. We are nothing, we are getting lost. Okay, D1 is a lossless. Up to now we know that D1 is a lossless. Then we will see about D2. The D2 is PQS. D2 here, D2 R1 is PQS, R2 is TX, R3 is QY and R4 is YZW. Okay, we will see here there is no common, right? R1 and R2 there is no common attribute. We cannot combine these two relations. Then we will see R2 we will write first and R1 PQS and R3 QY R4 YZW. Is there any common between R1 and R3? Yes, Q is common and Q is the key of R3 relation. Then we can combine R13 PQSY. This is the new relation and R2TX. Again from R4 and R3 is there any common? Yes, Y is common and Y is the key of the R4 Y to ZW. That means R134 we can combine PQSYZW. and R2 is there Tx. Now see, from R2 and R134 there is no common, here it is Tx and here PQSYZW. If there is no common attribute, we cannot combine these two relations and we are not getting the virginal relation. Okay, we are not getting the virginal relation of the decomposed relation. Then this is what we can say, that this is a lossy decomposition because we are unable to combine these two relations because there is no common attribute between RTX and R134. We are unable to combine these two relations. So I hope you understand, friends, here. Uh, so our answer is D1 is a lossless decomposition and D2 is a lossy decomposition. This is our answer. Okay, friends, thank you very much. Uh, have a good day. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment box.